Good morning everyone. Today we are starting with a new chapter of biology of class 10th and the name of the chapter is photosynthesis. The main objectives of this chapter will be to know what is photosynthesis, raw materials for photosynthesis, mechanism of photosynthesis, formation of starch and other organic compounds, fate of end products of photosynthesis, transportation of organic compounds in plants, adaptation in leaves for photosynthesis, factors affecting photosynthesis, significance of photosynthesis, and carbon cycle. And the objectives of today's topic are to discuss the difference between autotrophs and heterotrophs, difference between photoautotrophs and chemoautotrophs, and the structure of chloroplast. Difference between autotrophs and heterotrophs. The word autotroph further consists of two words, auto and troph. Here word auto stands for self and troph stands for organisms. So autotrophs are the organisms which can prepare their own food by undergoing the process of photosynthesis. They need not to depend upon other organisms for their food. For example, all green plants as they contain chlorophyll, so they can synthesize their own food by undergoing the process of photosynthesis. Whereas in case of heterotrophs, hetero word stands for different, troph means organism. Heterotrophs are defined as the organisms which cannot prepare their own food and depends on other organisms for their food. For example, all animals, they depends upon green plants for their food. Autotrophs can be further classified into two categories, photoautotrophs and chemoautotrophs. Photoautotrophs. This word can further be split into three terms, photo, auto and trophs. Here photo word stands for light, auto means self and troph means organisms. So photoautotrophs are the autotrophs, that means they can synthesize their own food but in the presence of light energy. Whereas if we talk about chemoautotrophs, word chemo stands for chemical energy, auto stands for self and troph word stands for organism. So chemoautotrophs are the organisms which can prepare their own food but not in the presence of light energy. Instead, they utilize chemical energy which is released during the metabolic reactions undergoing in their own body. So these are the autotrophs which can synthesize their own food but in the presence of chemical energy. Photoautotrophs prepare their food by undergoing the process of photosynthesis, whereas chemoautotrophs prepare their own food by undergoing the process of chemosynthesis. Photoautotrophs includes green plants and cyanobacteria. If we talk about the examples of chemoautotrophs, there are some bacteria like sulfur bacteria, methane bacteria and iron bacteria. Now come to the page number 5.1 of your book. Introduction.
All metabolism begins with the chemical raw materials that are collectively referred to as food. Some organisms are capable of synthesizing organic materials from inert inorganic substances. Such organisms are known as autotrophs. We people have already discussed that autotrophs are the organisms which are able to convert inorganic substances into organic one and can prepare their own food by the simple process of photosynthesis. Whereas
other depends upon autotrophs directly or indirectly for the purpose of food and are known as heterotrophs. The autotrophic organisms are further categorized as photoautotrophs and chemoautotrophs.
Photoautotrophs are the green colored plants and some algae. They synthesize living matter from the inert inorganic material in the presence of chlorophyll and solar energy. Whereas chemoautotrophs utilize energy released by their chemical processes for the purpose of synthesizing their food. Example, sulfur bacteria. On the other hand, heterotrophs depends upon the autotrophs
directly or indirectly for the purpose of their food.
Photosynthesis. Here word photo means light and synthesis means to prepare or to form. Photosynthesis is defined as the process by which green plants prepare their own food by utilizing carbon dioxide and water in the presence of sunlight and chlorophyll.
Photosynthesis is a kind of anabolic reaction in which 6 molecules of carbon dioxide combines with 12 molecules of water in the presence of light and chlorophyll to produce glucose and oxygen along with 6 molecules of water. So, photosynthesis is the process by which green plants use sunlight to make food from simpler molecules like carbon dioxide and water. It can also be described as the process by which green plants synthesize organic substances, that is glucose, from carbon dioxide and water, that are the inorganic substances, using energy absorbed from sunlight by chlorophyll. This equation represents the overall equation for photosynthesis. Here the raw materials are carbon dioxide, water, sunlight and chlorophyll, and the products are glucose, oxygen and 6 molecules of water. Raw materials for the process of photosynthesis. For the process of photosynthesis, 4 important materials are required. These are carbon dioxide, water, sunlight and chlorophyll. Carbon dioxide is the raw material for the formation of glucose. It provides carbon for the formation of glucose. Plants obtain carbon dioxide from the atmosphere through the minute pores present on the surface of leaf called stomata. The next one is water, which is the second raw material for the process of photosynthesis. Plants obtain water from the soil by the process of absorption through the surface of roots. Sunlight. The process cannot work without an energy input, and this energy comes from the sun. The sun starts the first reaction in photosynthesis, which is known as light dependent process. During this stage of photosynthesis, as the sunlight excites the chlorophyll, water is split into oxygen and hydrogen, and the oxygen is released into the atmosphere. Next is chlorophyll. It is the green colored pigment which is present in the plants. It is essential for the process of photosynthesis. This chemical is produced naturally by all green plants, and its role in photosynthesis is to absorb light. That light energy triggers the chemical reaction we know as photosynthesis.
Raw materials required for photosynthesis. 4 important materials are required for the process of photosynthesis. These are carbon dioxide, water, radiant energy and chloroplast. Carbon dioxide. It is the raw material for the formation of glucose. Plants obtain carbon dioxide from the atmosphere through the stomata. The stomata open or close depending upon the need of carbon dioxide by the plants. Water. It is the second raw material for the process of photosynthesis. Plants get water from the soil by absorption, as discussed in chapter 3. Radiant energy or solar energy. The radiant energy is trapped from the solar energy by the green colored pigment called chlorophyll present in the chloroplast. About 70 to 80 billion tons of carbon dioxide is fixed annually by the terrestrial and aquatic photoautotrophs. Over 170 billion tons of dry organic matter is produced every year by the photoautotrophs. Only 10% of the total dry organic matter is produced by the land plants. The remaining 90% is formed in the oceans.
Structure of chloroplast. Chloroplasts are the small, disc-shaped, double membranous, green colored plastids which are found in the green colored parts of plant. In the leaves of plants, they are usually present along the walls of mesophyll cells. Chloroplasts are small microscopic cell organelles of plants which help in the process of photosynthesis. Each chloroplast can be further differentiated into 3 regions. That includes membranes, stroma and thylakoid. Membranes. The chloroplast is enclosed by a double membranous structure, and that structure is called as chloroplast envelope. This chloroplast envelope is including two membranes, outer membrane and inner membrane. Both these membranes are made up of lipids and proteins, and they are selectively permeable. That means they allow only selective substances or useful substances to pass through them. In between these two membranes, an empty space is present, which is called as periplastidial space. Inner to the inner membrane, whole chloroplast is filled with a granular living matrix. That granular living matrix of chloroplast is called as stroma. Inner to this envelope, whole chloroplast is filled with a living granular matrix which is called as stroma. This living matrix consists of enzymes that are required for the process of dark reaction. In the stroma of chloroplast, flattened, membranous, disc-shaped structures are present, and these disc-shaped structures are called as thylakoids. These thylakoids are present like the piles of coins. In the thylakoid membranes of chloroplast are present highly organized structures containing many molecules of chlorophyll called coentasome. They are supposed to be the units of photosynthesis. The term coentasome is defined as a group of approximately 250 molecules of chlorophyll which are capable of capturing 1 quantum of light. Light is always present in the form of packets, and these packets of light energies are called as quantum. So 1 packet of light energy which is absorbed by coentasome is called as quantum. Chloroplast is known as semi-autonomous cell organelle. Now the question arises, why chloroplast is called as semi-autonomous organelle? Chloroplast is defined as semi-autonomous organelle as it has its own DNA and it can synthesize some of its proteins. Now let us discuss some important terms related to the structure of chloroplast. These includes thylakoid. Thylakoid is defined as a flattened, disc-shaped structure present in the stroma of chloroplast. It is a site of light reaction as it contains all the enzymes which are required for the process of light reaction. Next is stroma. Stroma is defined as a granular living matrix present in the chloroplast. Fret lamellae. Fret lamellae are defined as the tubular connections that are present between the granas. Grana. Granas are defined as the piles of thylakoid which are present in the stroma of chloroplast. A single unit of grana is called as granum. Quantum. Quantum is defined as 1 packet of light energy which is absorbed by chlorophyll. In plural, this quantum will be called as quanta. Coentasome. Coentasome is defined as a group of approximately 250 molecules of chlorophyll that are capable of absorbing 1 quantum of light energy and are capable of converting it into chemical energy. And this act of trapping light energy and converting it into chemical energy is called as photochemical act. Chloroplasts. These are green colored plastids found in the green colored part of plants. They are very abundant in the leaves, normally 40 to 50 in each cell. In the leaves, they are present mainly in mesophyll cells located between upper and lower epidermis, that is, in between palisade cells and spongy cells. There may be 50 lakh chloroplasts per square mm of the leaf surface. Chloroplasts are minute microscopic cell organelles of plant cells. Each chloroplast can be differentiated into 3 parts, that includes membranes, stroma and thylakoids. Membranes. The chloroplast is covered by a double membraned envelope. Each membrane is lipoproteinaceous in chemical nature. Lipoproteinaceous means made up of lipids and proteins and are selectively permeable. Selectively permeable means they allow only useful substances to pass through them. In between the two membranes is present a narrow space. That space is called as periplastidial space. Peri means periphery, plastidial means plastid. These spaces are present at the periphery of plastid, so they are called as periplastidial space. Stroma. The chloroplast is filled with a colorless ground substance or living matrix that is called as stroma. Thylakoid. In the stroma are present flattened membranous sac-like structures called thylakoids. The thylakoids are present like the piles of coins. These piles of thylakoid are called grana. The grana are connected by stromal or fret lamellae. Stromal or fret lamellae are the small tubular connections that joins two grana.